My name is Robin Davis, and I'm privileged to serve as the President and CEO of Brown County United Way. Welcome to this year's annual celebration. This morning, we join you virtually thanks to the expertise and support of our media partners, North Coast Productions and Major Look. I'd like to take one moment to recognize some of our elected officials who have joined us here today. David Brooker of Congressman Mike Gallagher's office, Brown County Supervisor Cassandra Erickson, Jennifer Garner with United States Senator Tammy Baldwin's office, David Lissay, Brown County District Attorney, State Representative Christina Shelton, and State Senator Eric Wimberger. If we missed you, please drop your name and your title in the chat. And to all of our donors, our volunteers, our board members, community partners, and others, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Just a few days after last year's breakfast, our lives were profoundly changed. We were confronted with a global pandemic that required us to draw upon our reserves of grit, resilience, and hope, while at the same time confronting some grim realities of life in America, and more specifically, right here in Brown County, Wisconsin. Pre-pandemic data from our own 2018 ALICE report, and ALICE stands for Asset Limited Income Constrained Employed. When that report was released in July 2020, it revealed that 78% of Black households and 47% of Hispanic households lived below the ALICE threshold, compared to 33% of Caucasian households. That means that 78% and 47% of members of our community were struggling to make ends meet, even though they were employed. As we look ahead to the future, and we can surmise that that data will either stay the same or certainly increase, our mission and your support to unite people, resources, and ideas to create community solutions that strengthen every person and every community in Brown County will be more important than ever. We look ahead and recognize that we will continue to respond, recover, reimagine, and rebuild in the aftermath of COVID-19. Despite the challenges, here is what I, along with our dedicated staff, committed board of directors, our army of volunteers, and many community partners see before us: a united way forward. This morning, you will hear about some of the many individuals, organizations, and companies that joined with us to leverage opportunities and take action to move our collective work forward throughout Brown County.
Good morning. It's so good to see Robin in person. Great to be live with all of you online today. My name is Adam Jackson, and I have the honor of serving as the chair for the board of directors in service of the Brown County United Way. As we kick off today's celebration, we want to start with a land acknowledgement. We want to acknowledge the ancestral homelands and traditional territories of Indigenous people that have been here since the time immemorial. The Ho-Chunk Nation and Menominee Nation are the original first people of Wisconsin, and both nations have ancient historical and spiritual connections to the land that is now called Brown County. We acknowledge and honor the Ho-Chunk and Menominee people and the 10 other First Nation communities who are a part of our community, including the Oneida Nation of Wisconsin, Forest County Potawatomi, Ojibwe Nation communities, Stockbridge Munsee Band of the Mohicans, and the Brothertown Indian Nation. We recognize that we must continue to build solidarity and kinship with the Native people. In 2020, the Global United Way organization made a commitment to being and becoming an anti-racist organization. And what that means to me is it gives us a chance to reflect and pause. What does that mean for us as a board? How do we look at our fundraising, our collaboration in the community, and how do we support the Brown County United Way staff? As an organization, it gives us a chance to think about how do we need to transform and demonstrate how we live a united way forward. When you came on as the president and CEO of the Brown County United Way, Robin, I remember you instilling in the leadership staff a growth mindset. And that still resonates with me today, because as I think about how we will need to transform, we'll continue to stretch ourselves and support each other in the community as we wrestle with some tough topics that can be polarizing. But in the end, We need to lead with love and compassion, remembering that each of us are here to create a prosperous Brown County. Tackling things like getting 10,000 lives on a path to stability in 10 years, racism as a public health crisis, and eradicating homelessness will take radically new relationships and collaboration like we've never seen before. But when we solve these things, we'll have that have been longstanding problems will leave a lasting, loving legacy in our communities. And speaking of legacies, we want to begin today's program with a presentation of our first two legacy awards. The first one being the R.C. Nelson Award. This award recognizes and honors individuals who have been made outstanding contributions of time, talent, and treasure to the Brown County United Way. This year's recipient has done all three of those. We are pleased to recognize Paul Wyszynski of Palms Tire Company. Paul represents the third generation of Brown County United Way supporters in his family. He has served on the board of directors in a variety of capacity and as the 2019 co-chair of our annual campaign with his father, Jim. Let's watch the video when he learned he was being honored with this award.
Congratulations for everything you have done. Yay!
Well, thank you for the opportunity, and Robin, it's been a true pleasure the last 3 years or so with your leadership, and just appreciate the team that you've put together and what United Way is accomplishing and the goals moving forward for Brown County. Thank you to everyone who's on the call. It means a lot, so I really appreciate it. I'm blown away. I don't have much else to say.
Say good job. He said, good job, Daddy. Good job, Daddy.
Thanks, kids.
Good job, Paul. Proud of you.
Yay, and thank you, family, for loaning him out to us those early mornings, 7:30 in the morning and twice a month, all the other committee meetings that you presided over. So anyway, we appreciate you and thank you all so very much. The second legacy award is the W. Hurley McDonald Award. This award recognizes an individual who has made significant contributions to the community and to Brown County United Way. For her outstanding work in fulfilling the mission of the YWCA by eliminating racism through timely and informative programming, including the Stand Against Racism and Where We Live series, as well as supporting the trauma-informed care work of Brown County United Way. We are pleased to recognize Renita Robinson, formerly the president and CEO of the YWCA, and now the vice president of diversity and inclusion for Prevea Health. And here's that video.
Wow, well, I received that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you, my new friends and my new family, my Prevea family, for being here with me. That's marvelous. Excellent, excellent. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much. You guys have no idea how perfect the timing of this is, and just like it's pretty marvelous. Thank you so much, and I am so grateful to be a part of a team of community members doing this work. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say that the Privilege Institute was certainly right there with me and the YWCA as we pushed out all of that work with those. Where We Live, with the Where We Live series, and our attempt to really just educate the broad community. And I'm so grateful to be in this role with Prevea now to then continue to kind of on a far broader platform push that out. So yeah, this is great. Thank you so much.
And now we would invite you to take part in an interactive poll. On February 1st, residents across Wisconsin began the 21-week Racial Equity Challenge. That was modeled after the work of Dr. Eddie Moore Jr. of the Privilege Institute, and he's now a Green Bay resident. The Racial Equity Challenge is designed to increase our cultural competency and humility and for all of us to reflect and have discussions with people in our lives, and for all of us to move into actions aimed at developing ourselves as champions of equity and anti-racism in our personal and professional lives. We are pleased that more than 1,300 Brown County residents are participating in the Racial Equity Challenge. Today's poll is inspired by an impactful article from week 3 entitled, "What It Means to Be Wisconsinite." Please take the time here to answer the questions as they appear on your screen. We will share the results near the end of our program.
Thank you for participating in the poll. And as Adam said, we look forward to seeing the results along with you near the end of our program. Now we would like to present our Community Investment Awards. The Community Impact Award honors individuals or organizations demonstrating leadership and innovation while partnering with us to address priority needs on a population level. We are pleased to recognize Brown County Health and Human Services, Brown County Emergency Management, De Pere Health Department, and the Oneida Nation Community Health Services for their collective efforts to respond to the pandemic, and along with them, everyone on the front lines across every sector in Brown County who has come together to keep the community safe. And now let's take a look at the video from the presentation.
It's amazing to look back on everything, but we don't do things for recognition or awards. I don't, and I don't think anybody else here does either. We do things because they're the right things to do. They're things for our community. It's been just an amazing team to work with. As I look, at the small group on here, and I see Michelle, Debbie, and Anna, I just think, to go through all of this and still see the same 3 health officers here, and we're still working together, and we're still doing all the things that matter for the community. Just the only way you get through that is by, I think, really being tied to what you're doing, but also connected to each other and supporting each other, which I know the 3 of you have always done with each other. And having that experience in the area and unified command time when you could just see it, and it was just amazing. So it's just a really cool experience.
The Excellence in Nonprofit Leadership Award recognizes a nonprofit leader who demonstrates extraordinary leadership, initiative, and management skills. This year's recipient is Jeff Vandeleest, President of Family Services of Northeast Wisconsin. Jeff has committed his entire 45-year career to serving children and families, including the past 25 years at Family Services. His goal throughout has always remained the same: to make our community safer, stronger, and better places to live and raise our families. In their nomination, his executive leadership team described Jeff as the type of leader that so many dream of working for and with. the kind who is a motivator and mentor, a believer, an innovator, and one who empowers others to think big in service to individuals, families, and the community. And now let's enjoy the presentation of the Nonprofit Leadership Award.
Very nice. Well, thank you. I'm surprised and I am touched. Thank you. And thank you to my team, including Tom, who joined us today. Appreciate your being here. Those are very gracious comments. You know, a lot of things that I don't even realize I'm doing, just because that's who I am. That's the type of person I try to be, and that's the way I try to live my life. You know, obviously have played out here in terms of how I do my job. So to hear that be recognized by people that mean an awful lot to me personally, people that I respect professionally, just means the world to me. So thank you guys. Thank you, my team, for those comments. And then Sarah, thank you for, you know, we go back an awful long way. Sarah and I have worked together for years. We've been through some really interesting times, and to have this acknowledgement coming from you and your agency really does mean the world to me. So that makes it extra special. So Sarah, thank you.
At this time, members of our amazing community investment team will share highlights from their work over this past year.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sarah Inman, Vice President of Community Investment at Brown County United Way. Today provides us an opportunity to celebrate our partners, without whom our work would not be possible. Thank you so much for joining us and for everything you're doing to support our community. Thus far, you've seen that a very meaningful part of this event is the presentation of awards. We're so excited to honor our award recipients. In so doing, we also honor and applaud all of you, everyone who's come together over the past year to innovate and adapt while showing incredible resilience and perseverance to help meet community needs and challenges. This segment of today's presentation will feature 3 of us from the community investment team presenting information relating to Brown County United Way's emergency response strategies during 2020. The work we'll highlight provides a snapshot into a few of these major strategies. We have a small but mighty team of 11 at United Way. The information we're presenting honors everyone's work across the organization and the efforts of all our partners across the community. Since 1925, people have looked to Brown County United Way for lasting solutions to local challenges. We change lives and communities through service, collaboration, and impact. As we began our 95th year of service, 2020, no one could have imagined what it would mean for our community, our nation, and the world. During the first quarter of the year, we wrapped up our 2019 campaign. We hosted a series of robust community conversations, and in March, 1 year ago to date, we held one of the last large in-person events before the declaration of a public health emergency, our annual celebration at UWGB. Following the declaration, we shifted immediately to emergency response. Like many of you, our team quickly adjusted to working remotely. We established an emergency response fund alongside our partners at the Greater Green Bay Community Foundation and Green Bay Packers Give Back, who also established funds. We helped convene community leaders in the earliest phases of the pandemic to receive information from branches of government. We announced that we were removing all restrictions on United Way grants already in progress to provide more flexibility to our grant partners. We created new grant opportunities while streamlining our application processes so that dollars could reach the community in real time. We developed household surveys to help gauge the ongoing impacts of the pandemic. We began collaborating even more purposefully with funders and other partners across the region to help address community needs like childcare, housing, shelter, food, transportation, and mental health, all of which were present before the pandemic but had now become amplified. We hosted virtual forums to share our learnings throughout the pandemic and mobilized advocacy efforts to help address emerging challenges from a policy perspective. And our 211 call center was utilized more than ever, including but not limited to providing information and assistance during the earliest community testing phases. From a granting perspective, we're really excited to share with you that in 2020, more than 34,000 people received help through United Way grants and the work of our partners. And counting, we're still receiving grant partner reports. Thanks so much to everyone who has contributed not only donations and in-kind support to our annual campaign, but also the equally important gifts of time, talent, and expertise. It's because of you and your partnership that these results are possible. Our impact framework guides all of our efforts, our granting strategies, our collaborations, and the direct work of our staff team and volunteers. The framework is comprised of 3 interconnected levels of influence: program investments aimed at providing direct service to individuals in Brown County, impact initiatives, which are primarily place-based and focused on improving community systems, and advocacy, which aims to bring about policy change. United Way is uniquely positioned to convene partnerships at all 3 of these levels, which is what it takes to achieve lasting changes in community conditions. Across the framework, our dream for Brown County is equity, inclusion, and stability for all people, informed by data, research, and community voices. Our target population is households living below the ALICE threshold, particularly people in communities who are marginalized in our society. Pre-pandemic, there were 1 in 3 households living below what's known as the ALICE threshold. This equated to more than 35,000 households that were either classified as below the federal poverty level or just above it and were asset limited, income constrained, and employed, or ALICE. All of these households struggled to meet daily basic needs and were 1 emergency away from instability, setting the stage for the unprecedented economic impact of the COVID-19 crisis.
Hello, and thank you for coming today. I'm Holly Ladwig, Program Investment and 211 Manager at Brown County United Way. I have a diverse role at Brown County United Way with the main goal of helping make connections between funding, agencies, and community members. I started my role in late 2019. As 2020 began, things were changing with 211 at Brown County United Way. Staff changes and retirements ushered in a new era, and we were establishing new ways to best serve our community. The 211 call center volume was typical for the time of year. Individuals were calling, and most were seeking assistance and information about housing access, mental health resources, and tax assistance. This all started to change as public health warnings began to circulate and alert citizens of the emerging danger a new virus was causing worldwide. Worrisome to be sure, but the virus, now known as COVID-19, still seemed far away. Then on March 16th, 2020, an overwhelming wave of panic began to rise. As schools and businesses began shutting down, people sought information from 211. People seeking answers, people seeking temporary assistance, people trying to find food. Many did not know where to turn, what to do, or how to process what was happening. As 2020 melted into spring and more was learned about COVID-19, and as it spread throughout our country and communities, more and more people were affected. Hospitals began to fill. Scientists raced to understand the severity of the disease, and millions of people were suddenly ordered to stay safely at home. We were stunned as a nation, watching the virus overwhelm health systems and communities daily for months on end. People were dying or losing loved ones without the ability to say goodbye. Many lost their jobs and income. Most worried endlessly about getting sick, keeping a roof over their head, feeding their families, and how to manage through the unknown. It was a stunning challenge that generations of Americans had never faced, completely unrehearsed and only vaguely aware of how to remain calm in this new world of public health, financial, social, and humanitarian upheaval. At Brown County United Way, we knew we couldn't solve all of these problems, but we knew that we could start locally to tackle them. That fear that ran through our veins did not stop us from learning new ways to work together and push forward to find solutions. The 211 call center worked day and night to get people the answers they needed. Our resource managers tirelessly made updates to our system to ensure the information was up to date. When testing became available to our community, we worked with Brown County Emergency Management and Brown County Public Health to find solutions, and 211 helped with scheduling testing appointments for anyone without access to computers. Our team worked virtually hand in hand with businesses, agencies, government, and volunteers to meet these immense needs. At the onset of the pandemic, I was asked to return a phone call from a local businessman and military veteran wanting to help his community. On the same day I nervously packed up my office and turned on my laptop for the first time, I spoke with Will Neething. I could not have imagined what he was about to ask us to partner with him on. Over the next weeks and months, as we all struggled to adjust to working from home, having our children learning virtually, and not leaving the house unless absolutely necessary, Will, a small, diverse team of individuals, and I first discussed and then created an opportunity to meet the food and basic needs of all citizens in need in Brown County. One man's idea to serve his country one more time was brought to life through collaboration and hard work. Operation Community Cares was made possible because numerous agencies accepted my phone calls, listened to the concept of delivery of food bags, soap, diapers, and other basic needs, all free and all delivered during the stay-at-home order. OCC has gone on to assist our community in other amazing ways and will continue to do so in the future. I will always be grateful for the role I got to have in the creation of this agency and respect and admire all those that assisted our community during one of the greatest times of need. It is truly amazing what we can do when we work together. The effects of COVID-19 and all the challenges 2020 had and that remain today will be long felt. It is difficult, but we are now awake to the long simmering and often ignored inequities that the pandemic has shined a light upon. This call to change, to address our nation, our communities, and ourselves, remind us that we have work to do. There is one thing that I am sure of, and that is Brown County United Way will be there to identify solutions to make our community not just survive, but thrive and rise up to be better together than we ever imagined.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jill Sobiak, the Impact and Initiatives Outreach Manager, and I'm so happy to be here with you today and share the good news of our work. As we reflect on our last year, we remember our big vision of helping residents in our community live their best life and supporting those that are experiencing challenges. During late 2019 and early 2020, we were privileged and honored to engage in local community conversations and focus groups to better understand the lived experiences of individuals that are trying to make ends meet. We came to better understand the amazing resiliency of our community, but we also learned about significant challenges individuals were faced with. Many talked about the need for timely access to mental health supports, increased need for basic need items, increased need for safe and equitable housing for all, increased need for affordable and accessible transportation, increased need for social connection and getting to know their neighbors, increased supports for foster youth transitioning out of county systems. Since the onset of the pandemic, the needs and challenges for our community members have increased even more, and the economic and technological landscape has changed quickly. The pandemic is pushing forward greater automation of services and a tremendous growth in our gig economy, which is a great evolution, but it also comes at a cost. The impact on those with lower wage jobs, under $20 an hour, will likely increase, thereby stagnating their opportunity for upward economic mobility. And many, because of the pandemic, have experienced job loss or a reduction in their work hours. And although unemployment rates are declining and businesses are reopening, many have been struggling, living on a survival budget, and did not have financial safety nets in place to fall back on. Many were strained, having to work as essential workers in frontline service jobs and to support themselves and their families. During 2020, we conducted 2 COVID-19 community impact surveys. The purpose of these surveys was to explore the extent to which COVID-19 affected individuals' physical health, mental health, education, financial status, and social well-being. Because of the built relationships we have, the response was impressive. A total of 663 responded between the 2 surveys. The results of the survey shed light on the impact and strain felt from the pandemic. 52% of the respondents felt that COVID-19 had a major impact on their lives. One respondent had this to say, "It has restricted my ability to grieve the death of my mom with my family, see my children, receive health care, exercise, do my work, and has significantly changed my social and recreational life." 82% of the respondents felt an increase in daily stress levels. Another respondent had this to say, "My kids are at home for online school, but can't get the internet for online school because I can't afford it. The kids need activities outside the home. Parents need activities outside the home. I can't get food share to process things correctly, and I still have not received our stimulus payment. I have constant anxiety and worry and how this will affect our children." 55% felt lonely during the pandemic. Another respondent shared, Now working from home, I had to learn more technology, and being isolated from family and friends leads to loneliness and loss of comfort from my church and the YMCA. Even though the pandemic had taken a toll on their lives, many people remained optimistic about the future. 77% of the respondents were hopeful about their lives. One person shared this: "I am staying hopeful and positive and doing what I can to assist others during this time." The key to a great community is the willingness of its residents to show up during great times, but also during tough times. Through the support of local business, community volunteers, supportive nonprofits, and institutions, we've rallied together to pitch in to support many people in need during this last year. We're so excited about our newly launched efforts within a cohort of Eastside neighborhoods. In 2020, we invested a little over $66,000 in neighborhood partnership grants, working with existing and new partners in ways that will strengthen neighborhood thrivability. Our organization has a long history of supporting and giving back to the community, and our volunteers are a critical part of that effort. I would like to thank all of the great givers of our community who so generously share their time and talents. Our year of action was unprecedented this last year, with over 150 volunteers sharing more than 135 hours. Here are some of the highlights, to name just a few. 15 local nonprofits received personal protection equipment with an estimated value of $7,000. A United Way worldwide mini grant supported senior citizens in learning how to use iPads and navigate technology. Community Drive, sponsored by the Greater Green Bay Labor Council, cast a wide net in collecting blankets and food for the community. The Blanketing Brown County Drive had one of its best years yet and collected and distributed 3,100 blankets to 40 local nonprofits. And newly launched on Labor Day was the first annual food drive, which collected 1 ton of food and then was distributed to St. John's Homeless Shelter. Additionally, great partnerships like Kimberly-Clark, Procter & Gamble, the Gannett, and the Green Bay Press Gazette helped to support the annual Brown County Diaper Drive. In 2020, the drive collected 128,000 diapers. Since the diaper drive began in 2015, it has collected and distributed over 850,000 diapers and other baby products. These diapers are a much needed resource to keep children in our community healthy and dry. And last year, we kicked off our first Make a Difference Day in October to support neighborhood cleanup efforts. Volunteers masked up, grabbed their rakes, threw on warm coats and walking shoes, and raked the Navarino and Whitney neighborhood parks and surrounding streets. Our neighborhoods are a brighter place to work, live, and play because of you. The response of our community to give back and lift up has been tremendous, and your contributions truly pave a united path forward for our community. We look forward to more in-depth community conversations that include your perspectives and ideas on community development and investment. Through our continued collaboration and data-informed decision-making, we hope to build on the great attributes of our neighborhoods and community. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Holly and Jill. Looking forward to 2021 and beyond, collectively, we all continue to respond to the pandemic. We're living it, and now we must go forward from it to embrace a new normal. We look forward to continued collaboration with existing and new partners during this journey. At United Way, community voices, data, and research will continue to guide our work, informed by the indelible lessons learned and new challenges and opportunities that came about during 2020. We'll continue to engage in systems thinking, have courageous conversations, and challenge ourselves to continuously innovate and improve. As we all transition to that new normal, Brown County United Way will continue to strive for an inclusive community where all people can meet their basic needs, have equal opportunity, and find stability in their daily lives. By giving of your time, talent, and treasure to Brown County United Way, you're contributing to this dream and call to action. Because of you, Brown County United Way and the United Way network across the nation and the world are here to help and to respond, to lead, partner, and support, and lift up the voices of lived experience as we contribute to creating a new normal. The community needs us, all of us, now more than ever before. Now is the time to live united and to find a united way forward together. Many thanks again to all of you for your support and partnership.
Next, we'd like to acknowledge the recipients of our Shining Star Awards. These awards celebrate individuals who have made extraordinary contributions to the Brown County United Way. Colin Peltier, Bob Mayer, Jody Newthals-Mikulski, David Lassay, Patrick Parisi, Lorena Tipping, Kayla Branham. Our Alice focus groups included Michael Conley Kuhagen, Brianna Cole, Lola Skinador Wheelock, Lul Abadi, Elizabeth Barrett, and Jennifer Barrett. Trisha Garrison, Renee Van Lannen, and Annika Osel.
Now we would like to recognize the award recipient for this year's Outstanding Emerging Leader. The Outstanding Emerging Leader Award honors a young professional who has made outstanding contributions to our community and Brown County United Way. This year's recipient is Meredith Hansen from St. Norbert College, who for the second year in a row has stepped up in every way to support our Emerging Leaders Society. Next, we want to honor the Employee Campaign Coordinator who went above and beyond during the annual campaign. This year's Outstanding Employee Campaign Coordinator is Brett Dessy of Procter & Gamble. Brett's hard work increased the number of givers in their workplace campaign by 43% in a year when we had to rethink everything we knew about workplace campaigns. And now we turn to the next portion of our celebration, and that will be led by our Resource Development and Marketing team.
Thank you, Robin and Adam. As someone who used to do a lot of long distance running, I've spent many hours pondering the happenings around me while pounding the pavement. That must be true for other runners as well, as I often find inspiration in their words. I recently came across a quote from Gabrielle Grunewald, a professional runner and cancer advocate, who founded the Brave Like Gabe Foundation to inspire people to share their stories of being brave through their own struggles. Her quote was this: "You can still make something beautiful and something powerful out of a really bad situation." While I don't think she was talking about COVID-19 and what we all experienced this past year, I think she could have been. As we began our fundraising season in late summer of last year, it looked like it was going to be a really tough year. Several companies had already faced or were preparing for layoffs and/or furloughs. With people's job security in question, donating to any charitable cause was not top of mind. While many companies also had moved to a remote workforce, effectively putting an end to special events, a small but important source of revenue for us. And there was just general unrest as people protested racial inequities and mask wearing, among other things. It looked to be a bad situation. But something beautiful and powerful did happen. Within days of the declaration of COVID-19 as a public health crisis, we created our Emergency Response Fund. And by the end of 2020, we raised nearly $300,000. Most of that money came in almost immediately. People heard the message, recognized the need, and began giving generously. As our community investment team told you earlier, we were able to make 44 grants helping more than 15,000 people who had been adversely affected by COVID-19. That is both powerful and beautiful. And as I look to the future, that is a united way forward. Our leadership donors were incredibly generous this past year as well. We define leadership giving as gifts above $1,000. We saw a 164% increase in the number of individuals who contributed at least that much, with our largest gift being $75,000. Our leadership donors, 281 strong, contributed nearly $750,000, the highest amount by far over the past 6 years. That is both powerful and beautiful. And as I look to the future, that is a united way forward. The fact is, many companies and individuals did step up in this time of need, And while it would be great to honor everyone for their acts of kindness, for going that extra mile, for doing that extra special thing that made someone's day, it's not possible. We do have some special companies and individuals we would like to honor this morning. And to help us do that, I'd like to introduce to you Seth Massett, our campaign manager.
Each year, we give one organization our Meritorious Support Award in recognition of their longstanding support and commitment to Brown County United Way. This year's winner has been a cornerstone, not only in the work of United Way, but in our community broadly. Their employees have served as campaign chairs and on our board of directors. And this last year, their support of Brown County United Way's Emergency Response Fund, plus their workplace campaign, added to their more than $1 million in lifetime support. Not to mention that their partnering with United Way has impacted thousands of Brown County youth through the Character Playbook program. This year, we are honored to present the Meritorious Support Award to the Green Bay Packers.
We were so happy to work with you on particularly COVID-19 relief. So many people and businesses were impacted by it, and we were really happy to be able to work with you to help those in need. And the other thing we were happy to do is to provide a relief to the people, something that to have some sort of normalcy. So tribute to everybody, and particularly on our football side of the organization, that we were able to play a full season and give people something to look forward to rather than worrying about COVID-19.
Yeah.
And I'd encourage everybody out there to get the vaccine as soon as you can. That's the best thing we can do.
The George F. Kress Award honors an organization that has made outstanding contributions to Brown County United Way through contributions and community involvement. This year's winner stepped up in a big way, contributing to our emergency response fund to support people adversely affected by COVID, growing their workplace campaign, and donating thousands of diapers to support struggling families in our community. Not to mention making precious teepee when we all needed it. We are happy to present this year's George F. Kress Award to Procter & Gamble.
We appreciate the honor. The United Way is very important to Procter & Gamble, and specifically to this site. We love that we're able to support the community that all of us are a part of. This year has been a really tough year during the pandemic. And one of the things that I have loved to watch, though, during it is just seeing our people at our best. And so getting to see that we can help support the community when it needs us more than ever has just been very rewarding this year, even in midst of such challenging times. So thank you very much to United Way for such an honor for our company. And we look forward to continuing to support the United Way in many years to come.
Brown County United Way is honored to be supported by individuals and companies from across our community. And this next award recognizes one executive who has been visible in supporting, encouraging, and assisting in their company's workplace campaign. This year, we honor an individual who participates in campaign goals, provides employees with regular encouragement, and works with employee campaign coordinators. In this challenging year, we are honored to recognize Chris Waleski of Bellin Health for her outstanding campaign leadership.
And honestly, the person who's going to be as excited about that as I am is going to be George, because he obviously has instilled in the organization a real commitment to the work that the United Way does. I always tell people that the work you do, your work is our work. The work of the United Way is having a profound impact on health and well-being in the community and addressing social determinants of health. So, it's almost like we've got the same goals. It's a very nice surprise, and I appreciate it. And I know that the organization as a whole, I think, will really feel a lot of pride in that recognition because, it's not hard. It's not a difficult message.
This year, we were honored to once again have a wonderful campaign cabinet, helping us reach out to area companies to begin generating excitement about the upcoming campaign. Led by Dr. Ashok Rai, the president and CEO of Prevea Health, who is this year's campaign chair, he was joined by Pat Gorski, Nick Spudi, and Melissa Lundberg, all of Associated Bank, Jill Fox of Connect, powered by American Family Insurance, Kristen Jacobs of CASA of Brown County, and Katie Hess of Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Northeast Wisconsin. Combined, they reached out to nearly 100 companies and organizations, generating excitement, answering questions, and serving as ambassadors for our community and the important work we all do. Thank you to each of you, and especially to you, Dr. Rai. I'd now like to turn things over to Dr. Rai to share his perspective on this year's campaign.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ashok Rai, and I'm the president and CEO of Prevea Health. And this year, I was honored to serve as the campaign chair for the United Way annual campaign. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who was involved in the campaign, especially all the other CEOs throughout the community that took the time to meet with me one-on-one and asked the most important question you could. Are you sure you're the campaign chair given everything going on? Yes, and I appreciated some of the humor that came with those calls, and I appreciate everybody's level of engagement. You've got your employees to give a lot this year and to do it under extraordinary circumstances, as we all know. So I appreciate all the time, some of the humor on the calls, and a big thank you to everybody who contributed to the campaign and continues to support our United Way. As everybody knows, this year was unique, and to see such a level of giving within our community should make us all proud to live in a town, to live in a greater county that understands the needs of others as well as the needs of themselves and how we could all rally towards a common cause. The United Way is a cornerstone for taking care of families and individuals during the pandemic and will remain a cornerstone as we come through the recovery period and the need to focus on education, healthcare, and making sure that those individuals working can truly afford to live on their own. It's been a great year, and I appreciate all of the giving. And, oh yeah, I was supposed to tell you how much we earned. So we this year ended with a total of over $3.5 million. You can see the total on your board there, which is incredible. That's a small increase from last year, but in all honesty, it's a huge increase given everything that we've gone through this year. So thanks once again for all of the giving, all of the time, and all of your dedication to our community. And thank you to the United Way for letting me serve in this position this past year.
What an accomplishment. Thank you, Dr. Rai, for all the inspiration and leadership you have provided throughout the past year. It has been an incredible year, especially for you, serving as our campaign chair while navigating a pandemic as the leader of one of our community's healthcare systems. That is dedication. Thank you for that. Thank you for your leadership. I couldn't think of a better person to lead our campaign during this time. You understood the needs of our community, both pre-COVID and in the midst of COVID. And in leading by example, leading both Prevea as a provider of healthcare services and our community in a multi-million-dollar fundraising campaign, you showed all of us that we can wear multiple hats and be successful. In recognition of your leadership as this year's campaign chair, we are presenting you with a token of our appreciation as our 2020 campaign chairperson. Thank you. Thank you to all of our donors for making this year's campaign another successful one. Robin, Adam, back to you.
Your support across the community enables us to continue to fight for the stability of all people in Brown County. Our friends from Bergstrom Automotive have generously donated a car for this year's giveaway as a thank you for your support. Thank you, Bergstrom, for your continuous commitment to this community, and thank you to everyone who supported our work this year. You have demonstrated that together there is a united way forward. And now we're excited to announce that the winner of the 2020 Subaru Impreza donated by Bergstrom Automotive is, so imaginary drum roll, Matt Watt of Procter & Gamble. Here is a short video of Matt receiving the great news.
I want to say thank you to all of you guys. Those of you who donated, we're getting ready to celebrate our year end. And part of that celebration of announcing our total campaign and the work we're doing is also to announce that somebody has won the car. And that car is a donation from Bergstrom Automotive. It's a 2020 Subaru Impreza. And they graciously donated that car to us, and one of you in this room happens to be the winner of that car. I am looking for Mr. Matt Watt. Thank you so much. Matt contributed to the campaign this year, and he is our winner. He was one of about, we had about 5,000 potential entries, a little over 5,000, and he's here that today. Sorry. So there you go, you can have that. So thank you, Monk. We have the car outside. If you want to take a look at it. I got the okay, let's see it.
Pretty awesome. Really donated that. Thank you very much. Really happy for you. I'm happy. Thank you. I'm gonna up my ante now. I'm gonna up on your own. I don't know what to say. Yeah.
As we near the end of this year's celebration, we want to take a moment to thank the companies that sponsored this virtual event: Bell & Health, Festival Foods, Humana, Palms Tire, Prevea Health, and Schneider. Thank you.
Now let's take a look at the results of our poll.
Woo!
In yellow, you'll see some of the right answers, and we'll see how many people were able to find that right answer. In order to meet the basic daily needs, a family of 2 adults and 2 children in childcare requires the following annual income. The answer is $73,000. The second question, pre-pandemic, which of the following statements were true? So many tough options here. The correct answer was 33% of Caucasian households lived below the ALS threshold, while 79% of our Black households live below the ALS threshold, and 47% of Hispanic households live below that ALS threshold, while 53% of Brown County households aged 65 and older lived below the ALS threshold. 48% of Brown County households under the age of 25 lived below the ALS threshold. Next, the question is, Wisconsin has long immigration history dating back to its earliest years. By 1850, what percentage of Wisconsin's population represented new immigrants from other countries? The answer, 33%. The next question, in terms of the Midwest nice, conveys the most people living in Midwestern states are generally nice or welcoming. I'm pleased the rate of people that agree with this characterization, whether it's strongly agree, no opinion, disagree, strongly disagree, there is no wrong answer here. And, you know, we're finally in March. What temperature do most people in Wisconsin wear shorts? If you're not from here, this is a tough one. but you got to do whatever feels right to you. I was wearing shorts earlier this week. Today's a little breezy, but hopefully we'll be hitting these 70, 80-degree marks in no time. Robin, I'll turn it over to you for our closing remarks.
All right, thanks so much, Adam. This morning, you heard just a few highlights of our work from the past year. For more detailed information, we invite you to view our 2019-2020 annual report, which is posted on our website. And you can find that at browncountyunitedway.org. So you've heard us talk a lot this morning about the United Way Forward. And what do we think that that means? Well, as we move forward as a community, we're going to leverage our learning, both qualitative and quantitative, and continue to engage in the necessary systemic advocacy work that will address the disparities that you heard about today. We're going to utilize an equity lens and embed diversity, equity, and inclusion across our entire organization. And we're going to continue to encourage and support everyone in our community. We're going to engage the community even further at the conclusion of the 21-week equity challenge, and that ends on June 21st. So be on the lookout for that information. And then, as you heard earlier, we are going to build on our history of collaboration to include the unheard voices in our community so that multiple perspectives are represented, respected, and engaged as we forge the path forward.
I want to thank our North Coast team, the Major Look team, for putting on this live event for us to do it safely, masked up and behind the scenes, but this was really seamless for us being up here today. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning to be a part of this celebration. And please be on the lookout for the survey feedback so that you can let us know how you experienced this event and how you want to engage going forward. We look forward to connecting and collaborating with each of you in the days and years ahead. Thank you for your support in living a United Way Forward.
Live United!